Today I will be reacting to 5 major inventions you didn't know were German. Fairly from Germany. I reacted to a similar video with the same title from her channel and it was so good. I really loved it. And yeah, it seems like you guys did it as well. So yeah. Definitely, I'm all up to learn about scientific discoveries, technology, science in general, because I don't know much about it, but something that has always piqued my interest. So, yeah, let's not waste too much time talking. Let the woman talk instead of me.
You use it every day.
In
Germany. You use it every day. I use it every day, and so do people all over the world. But did you know that it was invented in Germany? I didn't either, so it's about time that we talk about these 5 major inventions you didn't know were German. Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. And as a German living abroad, I noticed that my home country is actually brought up a lot more often than I ever would have expected. I mean, I did expect for Nazi history to be a topic that would come up, but I found that even in conversations about cultural topics, American history, technology, the economy,
that's a great video. I made a reaction on that video as well, so I'm gonna leave it to you to check it out.
Germany somehow always plays a role. And I was reminded of that yet again when the Barbie movie and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer came out last month, so it's definitely time for a part 2 of major inventions you didn't know were German. In part 1 from a few months ago, we already learned that we wouldn't have MP3 today if it wasn't for a German research team, or X-rays, or fridges, just to name a few. Make sure to check out the full video to have your mind blown, but the list is much longer. The first invention for today is aspirin, or in German, Aspirin, which was invented by the German
But I guess it makes sense because yeah, exactly, that's what I wanted to say. The name is Bayer. So, yeah.
Pharmaceutical company Bayer in the late 1800s. Aspirin is the brand name that Bayer gave the medication, but the active ingredient is acetyl salicylic acid, which is why it's also often referred to as ASA or ASS in German. It can reduce pain, fever, inflammation.
I wonder why the Americans didn't call it S as well.
And as was discovered in the 1950s, it can also help prevent blood clots. Technically, humans have been using plants that were rich in salicylic acid, such as willow bark, for thousands of years, but it wasn't until the 19th century that chemists tried to isolate and synthetically create the acid. The final breakthrough took place in the Bayer lab in Elberfeld in the year 1897. The young pharmacist and chemist Felix Hoffmann was hired to create new drugs in the lab. He worked under Arthur Eichengrün. And there are different versions of the story, but according to Bayer itself, Hoffmann's father was suffering from rheumatism and complained about the bitter taste of the salicylic acid that he was taking to reduce his symptoms. It also burned the lining of his stomach and mouth, which is why his son tried to find a way to reduce the side effects of the medication and discovered that when he mixed it with acetic anhydride, Essigsäure, it became much easier to stomach. Bayer then registered a trademark for the new medication under the name Aspirin in 1899 and started selling it around the world. First as a powder in glass bottles, but then they started pressing it into standardized pills.
Oh my god, that's crazy, right? Look at that! A glass bottle of medicine. You really don't see that nowadays, right? I mean, I'm sure there's some medicine. I can't think of a single medicine that comes from a glass bottle. Plastic bottle, yes. Syrup, most of the time. No, actually, yeah, the antibiotics, most of the times they come from glass bottles. But not looking like this one. I guess now they use the darker color to protect from the sun, right? I think I saw a similar video that said that they do that for the beers as well. Put them in darker glass bottles to protect from the sun. I might be wrong, so you know, if you know more than me, that you probably do, because I don't know that much, you should correct me in the comment section.
world. First as a powder in glass bottles, but then they started pressing it into standardized pills and added the Bayer cross logo. The name Aspirin is a blend of A for acetyl and spear from spirea, which is the plant genus from which the acetyl salicylic acid, that's a complicated word to say, was originally derived from, and then they added the common chemical suffix in. Aspirin. But only about 20 years after Aspirin first hit the market, Bayer actually lost its trademark in the US and in many other countries, which is why at American drugstores, you'll see the name Aspirin on a lot of products by manufacturers that aren't Bayer. By the way, only 11 days after Felix Hoffmann synthesized Aspirin, he also synthesized.
But do they still have to pay the rights to Bayer whenever they create different aspirins?
Heroin in the Bayer lab. He wasn't the first scientist to make heroin, but it led to Bayer commercializing it in the following years and marketing it as a cough suppressant and non-addictive substitute for morphine. The name was derived from the word heroic, or in German heroisch, and it was sold for 15 years up until 1913, when it had become pretty clear how addictive the drug is.
Ew.
Next up is an invention that has been very present in the public discourse recently.
That was
interesting. It was the main topic in Christopher Nolan's movie Oppenheimer that just came out. Nuclear fission and the atomic bomb. Those of you who've seen the movie might remember the scene where
I still haven't seen the movie. Would you recommend it to me? I mean, I don't know. Some people I've talked to, they told me that it's really cool, but it's a pretty long movie, so you gotta be definitely certain that you will like it if you wanna watch it. Let me know. The more people tell me you should definitely watch it, then I'll probably do.
Oppenheimer first sees the newspaper headlines that the Germans have had a major breakthrough and actually split an atom. After scientists had been researching the nature and properties of radioactivity and radioactive substances for over 40 years, the German chemist Otto Hahn and his team discovered nuclear fission in December of 1938 at the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Chemistry in Berlin. They had been bombarding uranium with slow neutrons and discovered that barium was produced, so another chemical element, which suggested that the core of the atom must have burst. This discovery showed that nuclear chain reaction was possible, which laid the foundation for both nuclear power and also nuclear weapons. A few years later, in 1944, Hahn actually won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the discovery of nuclear fission. Now, right after this news first broke, the physicists at the Radiation Laboratory at the University of California, Berkeley, started experimenting with this. And this is where Robert Oppenheimer, one of the leading theoretical physicists at the time, was teaching. And a couple years later, in 1942, he was recruited to lead the research of the Manhattan Project with the goal of creating the world's first atomic bomb in order to defeat Nazi Germany and end World War II. And even though Oppenheimer was born in New York City, his family was originally from Germany. That's also why his name sounds so German, Oppenheimer. His father, Julius Seligmann Oppenheimer, was from a Jewish patrician family in Hanau, which lies in today's German state of Hesse, but at the time belonged to the Kingdom of Prussia. He came to the US at the age of 18, where he met his future wife, Ella Friedman, who was the daughter of Jewish immigrants from Bavaria. And even Robert Oppenheimer himself lived in Germany for a while in the 1920s when he got his PhD at the University of Göttingen under Max Born. So lots of German influence there when it comes to nuclear fission and the atomic bomb. Not to forget that the whole motivation to even build nuclear weapons was to fight the Nazis, who were believed to be working on nuclear weapons themselves. So whichever way you look at it, it all traces back to Germany. In good ways and in very bad ways. Now, one thing
we will give it to Germany, don't worry.
That was invented in Germany, but that you can access all over the world is Lingoda, where you can learn languages online and live with experienced native level teachers. When Ben and I went to the Dominican Republic...
Actually, I'm trying to work on a sponsor. I'm contacting them because I found a language learning app. Nothing to say about Lingoda. I think it's a great opportunity as well. But I'm working on it to get a sponsorship from... I'm not gonna tell you the name, from a learning. It's a fairly new app that is just amazing. Let me tell you, I love learning languages, and that app is gonna be crazy. So yeah, I'm trying my best. Hopefully in the future you will see me doing those sponsors. But yeah, let's check out Lingoda first.
public recently, it really bugged me that I didn't speak any Spanish. I only learned English and French in school, and even though I really tried, this was all I could really say by the end of our vacation. Quiero ordenar un mojito. Uno? Una mimosa. I mean, better than...
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I mean, I speak Spanish fluently, so I can say that was pretty good.
Nothing, I guess, but I really want to be able to communicate in Spanish, and Lingoda is giving me that extra motivation that we all need with their 2-month sprint challenge, where if you complete the challenge, you can earn 50% off your money back, or alternatively, get Lingoda class credits that are worth 2.5 times the monetary cash back. The sprint is an intense language learning course that will immensely boost your confidence speaking in your target language, because you'll be consistently immersed in the language and establish natural language learning habits. If you choose the Super Sprint Challenge, you'll do 30 lessons a month for 2 months, and this is what you get back when you win the challenge. Or you can do the Sprint, which is a little less intense, with 15 lessons a month. Whether you want to learn Spanish, like me, or German, which I know...
Yeah, but the thing is probably, I mean, I want to learn German, so that could be an idea for the future, definitely. French, I'm trying to learn French, but I'm trying to learn French actually. I studied in the past, and then I'm just listening to radio and podcasts, and it seems to be working. I can't really communicate, but when I listen to the language, I understand like 90% of what they say. English is fine. I mean, I'm speaking English, so whatever. Spanish, I already speak it. German, yes, German. I've been studying German on and off for many years already, but yeah. I should try, actually. Yeah, I should definitely try.
I know many of you are interested in French, English, or business English. Lingoda offers classes from beginner to advanced levels.
Wow.
And the classes are available 24/7, so you can fit them into your daily schedule no matter what. The classes are super immersive and interactive with only 5 students max, so you'll get a lot of practice and individual feedback, but it's totally in a safe space. I've never had a bad experience in the classes. Everyone always fully supports each other in their language learning progress. If you want to check out the Lingoda Sprint Challenge as well and get to that next level in your target language, make sure to click on the link below for more information and use my code FAILY20 for a $25 discount on your sprint registration. We've already talked about the German roots of the Oppenheimer story. Now let's talk about the other half of Barbenheimer. In case you missed it, the 2 movies both came out on the same day this year, so this whole concept of Barbenheimer became a thing. But yes, even Barbie originated in Germany. It all goes back to the launch of Germany's biggest newspaper, Bild, in 1952. Bild is a huge tabloid and criticized by many, but it seems like without it, Barbie wouldn't even exist. For their very first edition, they asked caricaturist Reinhard Beutin to create a black and white comic to fill some space. His first draft of a cute little baby didn't get approved by the editor, so he added a pout, long lashes, a ponytail, and a tall feminine body, and named the character Lily. The first comic of Lily at the Fortune Teller was a huge success, so they decided to publish it daily for the next...
Wait, let me see if I can understand what you said. Können Sie mir nicht Namen und Adresse dieser großen, achenreichen Anis sagen? Können Sie... Can you tell me the name and address of this big, beautiful, rich man? Oh, okay. The fortune teller. Can you tell me the name and address of this rich and beautiful man? Okay. Yes, my German isn't that bad. Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god, there was the fucking translation under here, and like crazy I'm trying to translate. I mean, it's okay. I mean, come on, that's still trying to work your way in. Ihre Zukunft. What does Zukunft mean?
fortune teller was a huge success, so they decided to publish it daily for the next 9 years. Lily represented a confident woman in post-war Germany during the economic miracle of the 1950s. She was fashionable, cheeky, and openly talked about her various lovers. And a lot of the drawings showed her with minimal clothing at the beach or in the changing room. For promotional reasons, the newspaper decided to turn Lily into a real-life doll that came out in 1955 under the name Bild Lily. The doll was sold in several European countries as well as overseas, and it was available in a 30 centimeter and a 19 centimeter size. It was made of plastic with attached lashes, ear studs, and pumps, and due to the revolutionary doll making techniques that were used, it actually held 3 patents. Unlike other dolls, Lily was able to tilt her head in a flirty way, and due to the way her legs were attached, they didn't sprawl when she was sitting, they always stayed parallel, which made her even more elegant. Even though Bild Lily was initially marketed to adults, the doll also became very popular among children.
What? Why? What the hell? That is so weird. I'm sure that many inventions that now are just dedicated to children back in the days were used by adults. Actually, I've been listening. I like to listen to this podcast from Italy of this historian. His name is Alessandro Barbero. If you're trying to learn Italian, you should definitely check him out. And he's a medievalist, so he's always talking about the Middle Ages, the differences with that era to our contemporary times. And he was saying that basically to have fun, adults in the villages will always be playing games that now only kids will play, like hide and seek. I don't know the names of other games. I mean, all the games for kids, basically play with the ball like kids do. All this type of stuff that all adults in the village will be playing. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. It gets you thinking that before, like most of the things that are dedicated for children before were just for everyone, basically. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Interesting.
Who enjoyed dressing her in the various outfits that were sold separately. The doll became so popular that there was even a movie made about the character of Lily called Lily, ein Mädchen aus der Großstadt. So Lily, a girl from the big city. Now, it was only about a year after Bild Lily first came out that the American businesswoman Ruth Handler discovered the Lily doll during a trip to Europe. Supposedly, she had been wanting to create an adult fashion doll for quite a while, but her husband and the other directors at their toy company Mattel didn't really support the idea. Seeing the success of Bild Lily showed that the concept could work though, so when Handler returned from Europe, they started to redesign the doll and first introduced their Barbie doll in 1959, named after Handler's daughter Barbara. Now, whether the idea for Barbie was stolen or it was just an inspiration, as they say, I don't know. Fact is that Handler's company Mattel purchased the rights to Bild Lily.
I mean, I don't think that's stolen. It's not the same. Wait. There are resemblances, but it's not stolen. I mean, she even admitted that she got inspired. I mean, now basically every day, so I don't know. I don't think that's stolen. That's just improving another idea, I'm guessing. I don't know. That's totally sad though. Come on. It was such a success, and then Barbie became even bigger success.
Say, I don't know. Fact is that Handler's company Mattel purchased the rights to Bild Lily a few years later to take it off the German market and allow for Barbie to be sold instead.
Wow.
And the rest is history, I guess.
Wow.
Okay.
Those are the type of stuff that I like to learn. If there are some videos dedicated to this kind of stuff, that's pretty cool. I want to watch them.
Who of you has ever had a Fanta, or as we say in German, Fanta? It's a brand that's part of the Coca-Cola.
I was never such a fan of Fanta, actually. I'm not such a fan of Fanta. If it's like a freshly squeezed orange juice, freshly squeezed, yes. But Fanta, I just go with Coke or Sprite. I prefer them much more. But yeah. Water is king. Water is king in my case. Sparkling water, even better.
Coca-Cola company, but it was in fact invented in Germany, and the name goes back to the German word Fantasie, meaning imagination, which perfectly describes how Fanta came about because it was really created out of necessity. It all goes back to World War II, when the supply of Coca-Cola syrup to Germany was heavily affected by the trade embargo that the US had established against the Nazi regime. By 1942, the supply had completely run out, which is why the CEO of Coca-Cola Germany, Max Kite, was looking for ways to keep the company running, even without their flagship drink. Together with their chief chemist Wolfgang Schetelich, they developed a drink that was mainly made from byproducts, such as whey, which is a cheese byproduct, and apple pomace. And then they mixed it with sugar beet and different concentrated fruit juices from Italy and called it Fanta. Flavor-wise, it didn't really have a whole lot.
Wait, what?
Concentrated fruit juices from Italy and called it.
She said apple. Isn't Fanta orange?
Fanta. Flavor-wise, it didn't really have a whole lot in common with Fanta today, but it kept the business running.
Ah, it says right here, Brause Limonade mit Fruchtgeschmack. Wow. So before it wasn't like it is now. So different.
Even after the US joined the war in 1941 and the company was completely cut off from the Coca-Cola headquarters. In 1943 alone, 3 million cases of Fanta were sold in Germany. And what's interesting is that in a lot of cases, it wasn't even bought as a beverage, but it was used for cooking to add sweetness and flavor because sugar was severely rationed at the time.
My father, most of the times he used Coke to clean the toilet when it's really dirty, or even like the sink when it gets too rusty and all that. I don't know, that's crazy. He always showed me that because he knows that sometimes I will drink Coke. So yeah, that's really scary to think that stuff goes into your stomach.
After the war, the Coca-Cola company regained full control over the German plant and the trademark to Fanta, but they actually discontinued the production in 1949. Until in 1955, a beverage company in Naples, Italy, had the idea to create an orange-flavored drink, which was then bought again by Coca-Cola in 1960, and that's the origin of the Fanta flavor that we all know today. Even though I should say that almost every country has their own version of Fanta. And I'm not just talking about the difference of, oh, American Coke is made with high fructose corn syrup, while in Mexico and Europe it's made with sugar. No, Fanta in the US tastes and looks completely different.
Really? Oh yes! I've seen the video of two American colleagues. Oh my god, what is his name? One is called Ryan. He also make reaction about Europe. I like to watch his video from time to time. I don't remember the last name, but I know his name is Ryan. And the other guy is Bro, something like that. It's a guy, sometimes he makes videos with his wife shooting the video, and they try stuff from Europe. He also reacts to videos from Europe. I mean, I don't remember exactly their screen names, but if you know, you probably must have understood. There are not too many Americans reacting about Europe. Guessing, I don't know. They are pretty famous anyways, probably you know. And I saw the videos where they try the American Fanta and they say that totally different, the taste. That's crazy. Anyway, also I'm not such a fan of the weird different variations of sodas. If I drink Coke, I will just drink Coke or Coke Zero. Same goes for everything else. Like the variations, I tried cherry Coke, it wasn't too bad, but nah, maybe the one with lemon, but I prefer to slice a little piece of lemon and put it inside my Coke most of the time. It's so much better.
From Fanta in Germany, and that one's different from Fanta in Italy and Fanta in Russia and so on. In fact, there are over 200 different Fanta flavors worldwide, but at least according to Ben, the one in Germany is the best. That's pretty much all he drinks when we're in Germany.
Ben is her husband.
And the last invention that you didn't know was German is the camera. Now, the official inventor of the camera is Joseph Nicephore Niepce from France. He created the first permanent photograph in 1826 after he had been spending years trying to find a way to capture the image of a camera obscura. That's the name of those original simple camera designs where you have some kind
if you ever happen to be in Turin, in Italy, I mean, go watch Juventus and then go to the Mole. That's the most famous monument in Turin. Inside Mole, there's the Museum of the Cinema. I went there when I was in middle school, and I also went there last year because I was in Turin with my girlfriend. We went there, and yeah, totally worth it. They teach you all this kind of stuff. I don't remember everything because when you go to a museum, it's not like you learn in that moment that you forget all the stuff that you have learned. I mean, most of the times. But I remember this about the Camera Oscura. Yeah, it was really interesting. So if you ever happen to be in Turin, definitely go and check out that museum.
Kind of darkened room, like a box, with a small hole or lens through which an image is projected onto a wall. Those have been around for hundreds of years and have even been mentioned as early as 500 BC. And since the late 17th century, they had been used as an art tool by projecting an image onto a surface that could then be manually traced. But it wasn't until 1816 that Niepce constructed a prototype of his camera, and then 10 years later, figured out how to actually capture the image with an 8-hour exposure and a process that he called heliography. This is the photograph that he captured on a pewter plate, the very first photograph, and it shows the view from his window at Le Gras in France. But did you know that the first person who envisioned a camera that would be small and portable enough for practical photography was actually a German? In 1685, so pretty early, the German author Johann Sahn described and drew both the camera obscura and the so-called magic lantern, as well as different projection types, lenses, reflectors, and so on, in his book Oculus Artificialis. It was the first time that the idea of a lens cover was introduced, which was a crucial development in the history of the camera because it meant that the screen could be kept dark while the operator changed the slide. It just took another 150 years after Zahn published that book before technology caught up to the point where it was actually possible to build this. So granted, Germans only played a side role here, but I thought this was pretty cool, and this wasn't all. Because about 90 years after the first photograph was taken, it was the German inventor Oskar Barnack who developed the first 35mm compact camera at the company Leitz, the Leica Leitz camera. Many of you are probably familiar with the brand Leica to this day. The first prototype, the Urleica, was developed in 1913, but due to World War I interfering here, the camera wasn't commercialized until 1925 as the Leica 1. It was an immediate hit, which of course spawned a lot of competitors, such as the companies Contax and Kodak, also both from Germany, as well as Argus from Michigan or Canon from Japan. And today we all have a camera in our phone and our laptop and use it pretty much every single day. But what do you guys think? What other major German inventions deserve more attention? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you want to know why Germans and Americans sleep differently, just click here. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. Tschüss!
Wow. Another great video. Totally go and check out our channel, Feli from Germany. I always leave a link to shout out the original video that I react to, so you can go and check it out, check in the description. And yeah, definitely guys, this was another amazing video. I want to continue this journey discovering more inventions that Germany has gifted the world. I saw another video about the inventions from the Nazi. Another video too, also about the major inventions from Germany in weaponry. So yeah, definitely could be an idea for the future. Let me know what you think about the video we just watched. If you have anything else to add, I will highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend it with me, these 30 minutes. I will see you very soon.